I'm gonna be straight up honest with everyone. This is the second time I'm recording this video, only because after recording it the first time, I had a better idea. Also, why am I wearing headphones? Okay, then, let's make this video, and let's see how long it takes me to get off topic. I give myself 30 seconds at most. Hello, everybody. As I said in the beginning, this is literally the second time I'm recording this video, only because, I tried scripting the first one, and while scripting is not a bad idea, it gets my ideas on paper, it's much better to just, I don't know, have the ideas ready and waiting, or at least have some semblance of the idea ready and waiting, rather than, like, trying to script it. I feel like, for me, the best way to create videos is a mixture of ad-libbing and scripting. More ad-libbing rather than scripting. Rather than scripting, I should probably outline. Like, have like some ideas rather than actual sentences. Anyway, 여러분 안녕하세요. 제 이름은 카율이에요. 그리고 한국어를 배우고 싶어요. Nailed it! First try. That's a lie. Hello everyone, my name is Kyle. I want to learn Korean. I probably cut out a lot of that, but it was mostly just because, like, putting sentences together is still confusing me. Like, whatever. Also, if my hair's messed up, it's because it's morning and I just woke up like an hour or two ago, and I'm not gonna fix it. My hair is fluffy as hell, and I'm not even gonna try. So, as I said before, the point of these videos is to kind of sort of catalog how I've been learning Korean. And yes, I've been learning Korean for the past, like, 6-7 months now. The days have been blended together. I got a new job within the last, like, few months, so, like, they've blended together even more now. It's 6 months. I started somewhere in April or May. So it was 5-6 months, not much. I decided to, like, just kind of, what's the word? Sort of summarize what it was like to start this and then go along, and then, like, as I'm going along, it's going to be less me summarizing my experience and more me taking specific focus on certain topics and things that, like, I feel like I need to either review or just really want to talk about. But anyway, how did I start learning Korean? Well, like anything, I had to get interest or gain interest in the language, and like most people in America, or at least most people interested in Korean in America, it was K-pop. It was K-pop, and that might feel like such a petty or small reason, but honestly, any reason to get into a language is a good reason, especially if you genuinely want to learn the language. Basically, I started listening to music very heavily, especially when quarantine started, because of the global pandemic that some people still think doesn't exist. I started really listening heavily. It started with a group by the name of Mamamoo, which I still love, by the way. They're in their 6th year. I'm so sorry. I should have followed them earlier. And then, well, to be fair, I did listen to a bit of Twice and Blackpink when they debuted when I was in college. So I guess you could say it started there, but it was super heavy in the last, like, 8 or so months. And now I'm like neck deep in content, and it's a bit much, but it's not like an actual obsession. It's more like a joking obsession where it's like, oh, I'm obsessed with K-pop because like, learning the language gave me a fucking excuse to just listen to the same songs over and over again, and watch the same clip compilations over and over again, and watch the same, like, variety shows over and over and over again. Like, it just gave me the excuse, and I'm totally using it, and it's very helpful in learning the language because it trains my ear. But I'm getting ahead of myself. That was how I gained interest in the language. It was because, like, it was the same thing with Japanese, when I started watching anime a lot and I started listening to, like, the theme songs and things like that. I want to learn Japanese. And to be honest, the only reason I didn't was because I was lazy and didn't know where to go. And plus, like, around the time when I started getting into Japanese, not into anime specifically, my bad, not into Japanese, into anime, like, it was considered, like, uncool or unpopular to learn Japanese because, oh, you're only learning it to like understand anime, and you're never gonna learn it because, like, blah 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 blah. Honestly, I probably should have at least tried, because like anything else in the world, like, you just gotta try, and it takes time. I really wish I did, but I didn't, so there's that. Now I'm learning Korean, and if I'm being honest, I'm honestly having a blast. I'm genuinely enjoying learning. It's just I need to find it took me a long time to find the specific pacing of like how fast I should go, how many lessons should I do a week, when should I stop and like just review everything I've already learned, and when should I keep pushing forward. I'm picking up my stride now, I would think, only because I'm like more experienced in trying to learn. But anyway, when I started, I didn't know where to go. So what I did was, much like with anyone, I just picked up a language app on my phone, a Duolingo specifically, and I kept doing that, and it was teaching, and of course it asks, like, do you know some Korean, or do you know none? I said none, and it started with me with the Korean alphabet, known as Hangul. The Korean alphabet has, what? Where's my notebook? Here's my notebook. It genuinely has, like, a crap ton. I can't tell if you can see it. You probably can't, but there's just a bunch, just so much Korean notes. Oh my god, look at all that. And I'm still in the basics. Oh my god, I'm still turning pages. Oh my god. Yeah, that's all Korean notes. Not in Korean, by the way. There's some Korean in there. It's like 50-50 Korean and English. But anyway, Hangul, which is the first page of my notebook, if you could see that right there. Look at that. Hangul has specifically 10 consonants and 14 vowels, and it took me 3 days to learn the alphabet, only because I wasn't applying myself properly. Well, technically it took me like a few weeks, only because I was using purely Duolingo. And I'm gonna say this right now, I've recently deleted Duolingo off my phone, only because I felt like I wasn't learning from Duolingo. I felt like I was doing Duolingo just to maintain the streak, and I wasn't learning. It didn't explain things to me properly. From what I've learned from most people who are like actual language teachers or linguists online, like, they look at Duolingo and they're like, for certain languages it does it better than others. I feel like it does like European languages better than like Eastern countries, and from what I've like learned from the one specific person I focus on when it comes to learning Korean, what I've learned is, like, he says that, like, if it works for you, it works, but he finds that the lessons that the app gives you are lacking, and it does more to, like, strengthen rote memorization rather than actual learning, and I happen to agree. It just took me 4 months to put the app down. Yeah, I genuinely stopped using Duolingo just because I felt like it was more for the streak rather than learning. Like, it was stressing me out. When I started on Duolingo, I was like learning, it gave me the alphabet, and sounding it out, learning it, it was working, kind of. It was probably like 2 weeks before I was like, okay, there's gotta be a better way to learn this. So I went straight to YouTube and was like, okay, Hangul lesson, and I looked it up, and I stumbled upon a channel by the name of Learn Korean with Billy Go, and that's the channel I've been using primarily to learn Korean. He has a Twitter. I didn't know he had a Twitter. Oh my god, Markiplier follows him. That's amazing. But yeah, he is where I primarily go to learn Korean. His channel mostly revolves around the Korean culture, what it's like living in Korea, and like he goes to like historical monuments and like interviews Korean people and like about various topics. His channel revolves around the idea of learning Korean and teaching Korean. It's really good, and I will put a link into his channel in the description if you're interested in learning Korean, because it's honestly fun. His lessons are short, and like you could watch one in a day. It takes me probably like an hour to 45 minutes to like finish a lesson, because I watch it all the way through, and then I take notes, and then I watch it again while taking notes, and then maybe watch it a third time so I can make flashcards with like vocab words and like sentence examples. But that was not how it started. Like what he did for me in 3 days, what Duolingo couldn't do for me in 2 weeks. He has one video that's literally just learn Hangul in 90 minutes. And while, yeah, it didn't take me 90 minutes, it was just like learning the entire alphabet all the way through, from like how they're pronounced, how could they be compared to English letters, and like it was just perfect. And then when I like kept learning and like with Hangul under my belt, more or less, I wasn't perfect with it, I'm better with it now. But like with that under my belt, I moved forward with Duolingo a lot faster, and of course, because the grammar lessons weren't fully explained and things like that, and I was just kind of like saying things and mimicking what the app was doing, like I wasn't learning. Then maybe like a month and a half later, he posts a basic lessons course for free on his channel. Well, he started posting, I should say, because he posts like 1, maybe 2 lessons a week, and my God, it was a godsend. Like, if there's a God, they want me to learn Korean. I don't know why, but they do. Like, it was perfect. It was, honest to God, perfect. Like if there was ever a sign that like fate was like, hey, you should learn Korean, it was like around the time I started wanting to learn, this guy posts a basics course, a beginner course, or rather I should say. And like it's at 48 parts now. I'm probably like 4 or 5 lessons behind at this point. But like that's just how it started, and I'm like, there's just so much, and I learned so well. Like all those lessons in that notebook over there are from his lessons. And there are also many channels he recommends that you should follow. Like he has a specific video of channels he recommends you follow alongside him to learn Korean, and I think it's a good idea as well. You should get your learning from multiple sources, but I don't have the time to like vet each channel and see which one works for me. Like he already works for me. Like his lessons are perfect for me. They work. Like and it's just me needing to like take time and like review them all, and I just need time. If I had more time every week, like I'd probably be a lot faster at learning Korean. But if I'm being honest, the amount of time I put into it a week is amazing. If I'm giving myself some credit. Like one video that Billy made was about how long it takes to become fluent, and it's not like a matter of how long in a matter of years or like months or years or anything like that. It's more like there is no how long it takes to become fluent. It is a how many hours are you putting in every week to learn. And for me, every day I put at minimum 15 minutes just to like practice flashcards, go through basics, like 15 minutes. Like 15 minutes a day won't make me fluent, but 15 minutes will keep me at the level I am currently. My honest goal is like 30 minutes to an hour, and like as the lessons get more and more complex, I've slowly noticed that my practice time every day gets longer and longer. Only because instead of practicing words or letters or anything like that, I'm starting to practice sentences in a more complex way as time progresses. Like probably within my first month, I could probably only say like basic phrases like hello, my name is, I am this. What else? Like saying thank you, excuse me, like basic stuff. Now I can kind of put like two sentences together, like what I said in the beginning of this video. 저는 가요리예요. 그리고 한국어를 배우고 싶어요. And I have a massive stutter in Korean only because like I need to find the tempo for my speech pattern in Korean because like my brain moves a lot faster than my mouth, and that's been a problem of mine in English as well. Like I do have a stutter in English just because I get too excited. But I'm looking for it. I've just slowly learned, and it's amazing. It's just like learning when to use like the finer aspects of Korean. And I am learning. And that was basically me for the past few months. I would, whenever you would post a lesson, I would watch it, do it, take notes on it, and then I would like. But the thing is, like, the tools I have now to learn, I didn't have in the beginning. I just had Duolingo and the lessons and my notebook. Nowadays, like, what I have, I wish I had since the beginning, because I would be so much more farther along. But what I have now is Billy's Lessons, and two apps specifically that I use. Naver Dictionary, which is an online dictionary that is geared towards like people wanting to learn, like not really wanting to learn. It's kind of wanting to learn. It has an online dictionary for Chinese, Japanese, and Korean and English. So if you want to learn any one of those languages or try to translate a few words from that language, I would suggest Naver. It's the best one. Whenever I want to look up a word, I instantly use Naver. And the other app I use is Anki, which is a flashcard app. You can download on your computer, you can download on your phone, and if you make an account, you can sync your flashcard decks with your phone and your computer. It's amazing. And if I'm being honest, like, I use it every day. Like, I have two specific decks. Can you see that? Yeah, you can see it. One for for Hanguk individual words and Hanguk sentences and phrases. The numbers next to it, if you could focus. If you could focus. How do I make it focus? Yeah. But anyway, the numbers next to the decks are like green are review words or review cards, and then blue is like new cards. And if I'm like being honest, it's terrifying because like you don't really realize how many flashcards you have until you look at the number. I have 1,054 cards right now in this deck, and like it compiles stats for how well you're learning and blah blah blah, and like it schedules out so that like you can set it, like the default stats are like you get 20 new flashcards a day plus the review cards you've done in the past, and like it says and whenever you look at a flashcard, it's like, was it hard for you, was it okay, or did you just know it right off the bat, and then it'll like schedule them out based on how well you're learning, and it's really good. And if you choose to use it, be honest with yourself. If a card was hard, do it again. If you couldn't do it again, and like just don't. And if it took you a little bit to think about the card, it wasn't like a memorization. You had to think about it. So don't go for the max good. I did that in the beginning, and like it doesn't help you. Be honest. But yeah, there's also another app that I've downloaded that I haven't used a lot yet, only because like I think it's meant for children who know Korean or live in Korea or are in a Korean family, because there's just a lot of vocab words in that app that I just don't know, and I probably should just look up the words and put them in my flashcards. I really should do that. But I don't, because I'm lazy and stupid. That's like a very jumbled and basic summary of what I've been doing, like how I started and how I got to where I am right now. Honestly speaking, there are aspects of learning a language that I would love to talk about more. And I slowly realized when I was making the previous version of the video that all of those topics could be their own video in their own way. And I'm just going to do that instead and just ramble for how I started. but I'm honestly having a lot of fun. I didn't like when I started learning. I thought I was just learning so I could listen to K-pop without needing a translation or looking up a translation or subtitles in the music videos. But now I'm genuinely having fun. There are days when it's hard. There are days when I'm frustrated. There are days when I don't want to do my review of lessons I've done in the past. But I have to. If I really want to learn this. And I want to practice every day, even a little bit. Because I really want to learn this language. And that's probably like anything, like with anything. You gotta want to do this. And if you really want to do this, you'll put up with the bad days. You'll put up with the days you're frustrated. And you're gonna tell, and like, as good as my desire to learn this is, I really need to tell myself how to take a break, because I don't tell myself to take a break. I was plowing through lessons so fast that I was compiling cards in my flashcard deck so fast that like 20 new flashcards a day wasn't keeping up. Like, to this day, I still have a little under 100 cards that I haven't reviewed yet, and I was still going ahead with the lessons. I've taken a break the past like week and a half just from like following the lessons, only because I needed to catch up. Like, okay, card type. Yeah, there's literally 97 unseen flashcards in my deck that I haven't like practiced yet. So when I catch up, that's when I'm gonna start doing lessons again. But this is fun, honestly. It's very, very fun. And to anyone learning a language out there, good luck. Piting, I've like, that's a Korean like battle cry, quote unquote. Fighting, I've also heard piting, and it's the same word. It's just pronunciations of the word fighting, basically. It's just like go, keep going, and to anyone out there learning a language, if you're using a language app like Duolingo, it's good to start, but I would definitely suggest finding a curriculum, online lessons, maybe a lesson book, like a teach yourself book, something like that, because I feel like that would be a lot better than what Duolingo provides, especially if you're learning an Eastern language. Another reason why I started with Korean is because its writing system is one of the easiest to learn in the world. Like, it's fascinating to me. It's one of the most modern languages in that it was invented like 300-400 years ago. It's fairly recent compared to every other language on the world. And while I do also have the desire to learn Japanese, hiragana scares me. I'm pretty sure I could learn it in a day if I really applied myself, but hiragana scares me. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. This one was a bit of a jumble, only because there was no specific topic that I wanted to talk about. I just wanted to like summarize and condense everything I've done to get to this point, for the past, 5-6 months. The beginning was more interesting to talk about, only because, I was looking for apps, and I wasn't sure what to do. Now that I have, a set schedule, quote-unquote, or curriculum that I follow, it's kind of, the same thing day in and day out. There are other things I want to do to try learning. I just haven't done them yet. Mostly because I don't have time, and I'm lazy. Or rather, I'm not lazy, I'm just scared to do it because I know how much time it would take to do what I want to do, and I'm not sure if I have time for it. I should do it. I should just take a day off and do what I want to do to, vary my my learning a little bit, just to keep it fun and keep it entertaining. But that's a story for another time. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're learning a language out there, keep going. Don't stop. Slow down if you need to. Practice what you've done in the past if you need to. But don't stop. Never give up. You're gonna get there. We're all gonna get there. And it's gonna be amazing when we do. So, once again, thank you guys so much for watching. 여러분, 감사합니다. And I will see you all next time. Thank you. Goodbye.